Hi, and thank you to Never Dine Alone. I'm one of the artists here, James Mantle. I've produced these two pieces here. They're acrylic on canvas. I've studied in graphic design at the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design in Halifax, and I've been a practicing graphic designer for about 25 years. I'd stepped away from the design because I felt myself being trapped by technology, and that it was sort of compressing my creativity. And I got back into brushing, right back to my traditional roots, which was by hand. A lot of people don't understand. They think graphic design had come from the computer, where realistically it has come from a person's hand and a brush and a pen. Now, these pieces here are produced acrylic on canvas. Their usage of 16th century Japanese woodblock art, ukiyo-e, meaning images in the floating world. Their usage of block color and black line. Now, in this piece here, Solstice, the usage of the reflections of iridescent color gives it incredible vibrance. And in that vibrance, these images have appeared where you have an eagle here with a baby eagle coming out of the salmon, with a doll's porpoise going over a seal. Now, these images at the start were just pencil marks on the canvas, and then as the colors were implemented, these images came out. I was talking with a First Nation artist, and he called that painting with blood, meaning that you have been able to cross over into the spiritual world and pull inspiration through the void. At that point, I kind of had quite a chill, and I'm like, wow, that's incredible. And then thinking that it was only a one-off thing on one painting, in another painting here, a bird appeared above her head, and this appeared out of the black when the black line went down. And as you see, the bird's quaking, and at the bottom it's as if a snake is pulling at its tail. So I'd step back from this painting and said, wow, what is happening here? And I did some research and went into some Mayan art and found these different images where they were talking about imagery that has appeared in the art, meaning oval spots, which are conscious points in the universe that shows a different direction of consciousness, where we have here an ear of corn that appears in the feathers, which is usage of the vibration and the motion. Getting to what I call the monads, I did some research on metaphysical singular entities, and that's what a monad means, meaning that everything in nature is so entwined together that it's hard to tell wherever one meets and one ends, meaning infinite. And that spiritual energy or spiritual points are monads. And realizing this at the point, I became way more conscious of these kind of imageries appearing in my paintings, and trying to question why. And as I'm progressing in my new work, this imagery keeps appearing on its own, and meaning that somehow, some way, now is it in the way that the forms are put down, or is it something to do with subconsciousness? And that I'm pulling from what I've in nature being seen, and I'm pulling in my subconscious thoughts to conscious thought. In that, I've been cleaning beaches off where I live in Oak Bay, which is in Victoria, of contaminants of plastic, styrofoam, and glass that are only boat accessible beaches. And by doing this, I've learned on how to, first off, get this stuff out, which is hampering nature, which is basically throwing a roadblock into the way that they are attuned to their surroundings, meaning basically food. In nature, it's a constant survival mode. It's for food. And in a lot of these beaches, they were so contaminated that there was nothing in them. There was no bugs flying around. There was nothing. Just plastic, styrofoam, and everything layered and layered from day one, since the day it was made, probably 50 to 60 years ago. Now, after I'd cleaned this out by building sea pits and putting it in there and floating the contaminants out, by cleaning it, constantly washing out, all of a sudden all nature came back to the spots, and where now the cycle of nature was back in motion, the vibration of motion and the energy was back in rhythm. So now it was actually sustained by the creatures there. And every time I felt out there, you're by yourself in these places because they're very isolated. Not many people are going to be walking by that. And that's what kind of dwelled me to do it, is that this is never going to be cleaned up. It's going to be here till the end of time. And I just started cleaning it. And out of those cleaning and it being sacred land, First Nations land, somehow that has manifested into my art.